So hello there, Pipers and prospective Pipers.
We're so glad that you're interested in Hamline University's exercise science program. I'm Dr. Jen Robb, and what we're going to do today is tell you a little bit about exercise science at Hamline University. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then Lisa will tell you about herself. I'm an assistant professor at Hamline University in the exercise science program. I teach classes ranging from biomechanics to strength and conditioning to motor control or psychosocial aspects of sport, and I run the Human Movement Biomechanics Lab at Hamline. What we do is a lot of research on human movement, injury prevention, exercise design and intervention, and a lot of that comes from my background. I got my PhD at the University of Illinois in kinesiology, and I have my master's in exercise physiology from Minnesota State University, Mankato. And now a little bit about Lisa.
So I'm an associate professor in the program. I direct the integrative physiology lab that I'll tell you more about later on. I got my PhD from the University of Texas at Austin, and it's in exercise physiology with special concentrations in nutrition and exercise immunology. And then I did a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Minnesota before coming to Hamline. The courses I teach are exercise physiology, advanced exercise physiology, clinical applications, nutrition, physiology of aging, and a few others such as research methods. So today, we're going to talk to you a little bit about what exercise science is, as well as what kind of opportunities our students have. So the first thing we will start with is what actually is exercise science anyway? Well, broadly defined, it is the study of human movement and physical activity on various aspects of health as well as performance. Jen's going to talk to you about all the different things you can do with a degree in exercise science.
It's a very diverse field, and to be really honest, when I first went into undergrad and I told my parents that I was going to get my degree in exercise science, they were a little panicked because I think it's very common for people to not know what you can do with a degree in exercise science. But as you can see, you can have so many opportunities ranging from the medical field, being a clinical exercise physiologist, to the athletic field, working as an athletic trainer or a strength and conditioning coach, straight into the healthcare field, where we have a lot of students pursuing careers in physical therapy, occupational therapy, wellness coaching. There's an incredible range. You can also go into specific fields of industry and corporation based research, or even more of academic based research. So the possibilities are really endless based upon what your interests are, and we're here to help you find that.
So there's a few things that really set our exercise science program at Hamline apart from others. One of those things is that we truly prepare our students for going into either graduate school or professional programs such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, or athletic training, as well as for entry into the job market. So we have Bachelor of Arts as well as Bachelor of Science degree options that customize students' education around their future goals. We make sure that they have all the necessary prereqs that they need for whatever comes next, and then we build the other coursework around that to customize it to what they want to do. The other thing that sets us apart so well is that students have the opportunity to really conduct high quality student-driven research with a faculty member, so with either Jen or myself. Part of this can be done through the Summer Collaborative Research Program at Hamline, which pays students a stipend to conduct research and actually pays for on-campus housing for the summer. And these projects can be turned into honors thesis projects as well. So there's lots of opportunities. We also have a really high grad school or job placement rate after senior year, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So now we'll start talking about research, and Jen is going to tell you about her lab.
So, as I mentioned before, I run the Human Movement Biomechanics Lab at Hamline University, and really what we focus on is different analysis of the human body and how it moves for injury prevention as well as rehabilitation. The top three images on the slide that you can see is actually our 3D motion capture program, where if you've ever seen how video games are made, what we can do is we put our participants in these Velcro suits and we cover them with about 57 reflective markers, and 6 cameras around them will capture a 3D image of any movement, whether it's a sport-based movement or even just walking on a treadmill. And what our students can do is actually visualize that movement from any view and break down how are they moving, are there instabilities or abnormalities. We usually partner it with, at the bottom screen, functional tests that a lot of our students are actually going to use in their future careers, whether as a PT or an OT. A lot of these functional movement assessments help us understand whether or not there are instabilities and can we predict it. And based upon this data, what we can do is design exercise interventions, whether for tactical populations, injury rehab, or just general athletic performance, to try to help improve their health and performance overall. And so now Lisa's going to tell you a little bit about her lab, which is pretty different.
My lab is called the Integrative Physiology Laboratory, and we have 2 distinct focuses. One focus of our research is on aging and older athletes and how physical activity and exercise can keep us healthy as we age. The other research focus my lab has is on exercise performance in well-trained athletes and how nutritional supplementation can affect performance and recovery. So in the top image here, you can see a master's athlete undergoing cardiac stress testing in my lab, and the students are doing all of the work. I train them up on the protocols, and then I just step back and observe and help if they need me. In the bottom image, you can see a cyclist performing a time trial in the lab, and this study examined whether or not carbohydrate and protein beverages would improve performance as well as recovery compared to a carbohydrate-only beverage. And in the image on the left, you can see one of my students analyzing hormone levels. So in this particular study, he was looking at cortisol levels in response to the nutritional supplementation that we gave the cyclist in the study. So they get experience in my lab doing biochemical analysis of samples as well.
And so, as you can see just from Lisa and I talking about our labs, we have an incredible range of research backgrounds to provide for students. And it's really demonstrated in the 2019 students who presented their research at the Hamline Undergraduate Research Symposium. We had over 6 exercise science posters being presented in a wide range. So starting at the upper left corner, we have Allie, who really focused on sort of the nutritional supplementation and exercise physiology based performance in elite level senior athletes. We had a couple students who looked at sports psychology based studies, so looking at how moods or fears impacted performance, impacted motivation, as well as how injury actually impacted depression and academic performance in student athletes. We have the pair on the upper right corner who did an upper body movement analysis on whether or not lower body instabilities can impact upper body injuries in athletes. Lower left-hand corner is Owen, who also did an exercise physiology-based nutritional supplementation study in Lisa's lab. And then last but not least in the center, we have 2 who looked at undergraduate health policies and understanding not only how those policies were perceived by undergraduates, but whether or not they were actually effective in implementing health behaviors. So Lisa and I provide a very wide range of research opportunities for students, and really they choose these topics based upon their own personal interests and motivations.
So I want to circle back to what I mentioned earlier. Another thing that sets our program apart is that we have a very high graduate school acceptance and job placement rate following students' senior year. And so as a demonstration of this, we'll tell you some of the success stories that we have had from students in our labs. and where they either are going or have gone after graduating from Hamline. So at the top is one of my current research students, Allie Eastman. So Allie is going to be starting a master's program at the University of Kentucky in the fall in exercise physiology. And here below Allie is Anthony Wolf, who is a former student. After working in my lab for 3 years, he went on to graduate school, got his master's in exercise physiology at the University of Texas at Austin. And now he is a senior research scientist at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. Next to him is two former students. Fernando Espinoza Jenkins was one of my research students as well, and he is now a physical therapist doing his residency at the University of Miami. And next to him is Joel Riordan, who is now a physical therapist as well.
And if we bounce back to the top center, we have two of my students, so Ben Resnick and Jesse Juneman. Ben Resnick was accepted into multiple physical therapy programs, and Jesse was accepted into athletic training programs, so graduate school. If we move over to the top right-hand corner, we have Charlie Scherfheim, who was accepted into multiple master's programs and now is pursuing a master's in orthopedic design and gait analysis. And then last but not least, at the bottom right corner, we have two of our previous student athletes, Lauren Faust and Kelsey Raniclove, who, as best friends, they both went to graduate school at Rush University. But Lauren is pursuing her master's and will soon be pursuing her PhD in nursing, and Kelsey is pursuing her doctorate of occupational therapy. So again, a wide range of students, student athletes who really earned these opportunities to go on to graduate school and get opportunities that are going to be amazing for them in the future.
So our question for you, Pipers and prospective Pipers, is where do you want to see yourself in the future? We certainly hope that you will start all of this out in our program at Hamline University.
Thank you so much for your time, and please feel free to contact us if you ever have any questions about the program.